Well, Chido Obi Martin is the point of discussion today, and we are really discussing Chido Obi Martin into the mix to see to it that all goes on well as planned. Chido Obi Martin impresses Ruben Amorim after really making his appearance into the team of Manchester United, the training session of Manchester United with the first team. The impression have been really hinted on by very many journalists in there for you and a close host, and even Ruben Amorim has gone ahead to drop a hint on Chido Obi Martin. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned, and we are here to obviously broadcast as always and see to it that all really goes on well as you people deserve. How many likes on this video? Let's see, close to 100 likes much of this video, and we'll see what your thoughts are about our experience down at what we call the United News. Now, today a story came in through from a man known as Rick Fay. Rick Fay was working for the Manchester Evening News, and now he's a reporter for the Mac World UK. You know, it's called as Manchester World UK, and he is really a United correspondent in there for you. And he's the man that broke the story that Chido Obi Martin has trained with Manchester United first team this week and is now in contention to be involved at senior level. So it was the very first time he went ahead, obviously, take part into his into the first United training session, and looks like this is the reason as to why he left Arsenal. As I've already told you that United promised him what we call a gateway straight into the first team, and that's what they're really working at to see to it that all goes on well as planned, to see to it that things don't obviously go the opposite way for what they really went ahead obviously promised him as a side of Manchester United. So as things stand, we are here to wait and see how everything is really going to be panning out as you people have come up to obviously know about Chido Obi Martin. I think he has now gone ahead to make, I think it's 18 years of age, 17, 18, and he has been involved into the first training session for the club of Manchester United. And guess what? He has impressed hugely, and don't be worried don't be surprised if at all you see a player of that caliber into the stadium of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And remember, Man United had Rashford and Anthony leave, and we only brought in a wing back, meaning that there is spot for those players to obviously make the bench, at least from the academy. And Chido Obi Martin might be one of those forwards that the manager might obviously be thinking of, because if he is looking for options, if he had Mason Mount, it would have gone ahead obviously be okay. But without Mason Mount, it's not okay. It's nowhere near okay if you're not having Chido, if you're not having Mason Mount, meaning that you're really short with the options in your forward line. That is it. So Chido Obi Martin exciting, Ruben Amorim is really great, and taking part into the first training session of the first team is really very important. And the manager, after the story was really put out, the manager today, when was doing what we call the pre-match press conference of Manchester United versus Spurs, has come out and told us that on the possibility of involving academy players, including Chido Obi Martin, said, "I don't want to give names. We have to be careful about this. We have problems this week. We have called up some young players to participate in our training. He's one of them." So he has come out and confirmed to us that, yeah, it's right. Chido Obi Martin took part into the first team training session for the club of Manchester United. He's one of those players that has been summoned by this guy to see to it that obviously comes in through and obviously represents to the fullest. So him coming in through to do the needful is one of those hints that United might obviously include him into the first team for the very first time he signed, ever since he signed for the club of Manchester United. That is Ruben Amorim for you, and I think that's really a very huge hint that he doesn't want to mention names, and he will see who is obviously gonna be. But Chido Obi Martin was one of those that took part into the training session for the club of Manchester United, and we have given him a chance to obviously showcase his goodies into the first team training session. And I don't think that it's time for Chido Obi Martin to get into the team of Manchester United, because he has to deserve to be there. Because the moment you obviously hurry him into this mode, I think it will obviously not act well in his career. I think the best thing for Manchester United to do for Chido Obi Martin, he should obviously be into the first team training for the Cup of Manchester United, because that can be a constant. But there is no way you're going to guarantee to us that you bring him into the team squad, you get him some minutes, and he's obviously going to be there. That's really a very huge doubt, because you don't know his capabilities. So all we need is simple. Let's see Chido Obi Martin get into the first training team of Manchester United, and then let him be there until the season comes to an end. I think the best program for Chido Obi Martin should be the preseason. Let's see what he has for the preseason, especially those starting games. And I know this time around, because you're going to be having close to 2 full months of really doing a preseason, I think the manager will have very many games to go, and I think we can obviously have like 6, 7, all 8, all 9 games to play. And this is where Chido Obi Martin should prove himself that he's really that lethal or clinical, whether starting or playing 30 minutes or 45. But I think that's when he obviously proved to us that in a real game he can obviously be the needful, especially in these high competitions. Because when you look at what he's doing in his unders, he's scoring for fun, and I think he scored a hat-trick, is it, recently? So he's scoring goals for fun in the under-18s for the club of Manchester United and the under-21. So we don't need to obviously throw him into the team immediately, because the strikers are there. And one thing that you're really looking at Manchester United as the first team, we don't create enough chances. And if you bring in Chido Obi Martin and don't create him enough chances, do you know what will happen for Chido Obi Martin? It will be really very bad, because he'll be in the graveyard shift and he'll be suffocated, something that you don't really want. So I want to see Chido Obi Martin introduced into this team of Manchester United, when creating chances for our number 9 has gone ahead to become something usual that you anticipate every other day that comes and really passes by. I think that's the best thing to do for the club of Manchester United and Chido Obi Martin. And these tendencies of him being part of the squad, I don't think that, I'm not happy for them, because we shouldn't hurry anyone into the team of Manchester United, Why should we hurry him into the team? Because we are having 2 forwards, that is Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. And their problem is that, their problem is not that they are missing out on chances, that we are really creating them. We are not creating them enough chances. That's the problem. So, as it stands, I don't want us to see to it that we really focus so much onto Chido Obi Martin, I want to see to it that Chido Obi Martin gets his time to obviously learn and develop, and see to it that with the moment we land him into the team, all is okay and all boxes have gone ahead obviously be ticked. You understand? So that's what I really want for Chido Obi Martin. But the manager is like, we have to be very careful about this. Obviously, he knows how to handle these young players, So, and he said, that's why Chido Obi Martin came in. It's not because that it was called for, but because they really had problems, that they had to obviously bring in players to obviously come and really get that job done and dusted. That's what the manager has told us. So let's keep a keen eye onto the squad that's going to be traveling to London. That is, I think, tomorrow, Saturday, and on Sunday we'll be getting to know whether he's into the squad. But United Matters channel will be here to obviously bring you the latest news and information about that. You understand? So after that, let's obviously get to what the manager really had to say about the training, and he said the following, that it has been a good week of training. Remember, we last kicked a ball when we knocked out there is a team we played, it was in the FA Cup, right? And it was Leicester City. We knocked them out by 2-1. I think we left it late. It deserved a Harry Maguire-led header for United to obviously win that game. The manager said a good week of training. No players are back from injury. We have 1 or 2 doubtful players, but we have to wait and see. Now, where are those people who really came out and obviously saw that stories that Luke Shaw is obviously going to be returning this Monday? Is he back? The last time I knew, when he went back, it took him months to return. So, it's a serious injury, and this is where Luke Shaw should obviously show us he's back from Manchester United. He should be one of those players that United should move on because he's really costing us. And Mason Mount is not yet back, and the manager is really having those players. And I think we can obviously go ahead and really play some beautiful football at Spurs, because Spurs are also not doing good. But two worse teams facing one another, who will obviously look better? One blind man, one-eyed man among the blind. That will be the title for my story in there for you. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Do you think Chido Obi Martin has gone ahead to reach that level of obviously getting into the first team of Manchester United? All that and more into the comment section below. Ruben Amorim has been impressed by Chido Obi Martin performances in the first team training session. We out.